What can I do for you, Rod? You just tell me, what can I do for you?
It's a very personal, very important thing. Hell, it's a family matter. Are you ready, Jerry?
I'm ready.
Just want to make sure you're ready, brother. Here it is. Show me the money.
Looking good, but I think I'm taking too long. Back to the spot for a Glock. I took a long overflow, but still got a knock.
Money! Jerry, does that make you feel good just to say that? Say it with me one time, Jerry.
Show you the money.
Oh, no, you can do better than that, Jerry. I want you to say it with meaning, brother. Hey, I got Bob Sugar on the other line. I better hear you say it.
Yeah, no. Show you the money.
Not show you. Show me the money.
Show me the money.
Yeah. Louder.
Show me the money.
That's it, brother, but you got to yell that shit.
Show me the money.
I need to feel you, Jerry.
Show me the money.
Jerry, you better yell.
Show me the money.
Show me the money. You love this black man. I love black people. I love black people. Who's the motherfucker, Jerry? You, my motherfucker. What you gonna do, Jerry? Show me the money. Congratulations, you're still my agent.
Ahoy, tent pirates, plant parents, conscious consumers, and the morbidly curious. Welcome to Cultivation Conversation, a podcast for growers, by growers. Come chat with our hosts, Captain Autoflower, the Real Green Monster, and myself, Girl Go Grow. Grab a bouquet of your favorite flowers, apparatus of choice, and don't forget the fire while I tell you about the special companies that help keep this ship afloat. We are busy people, and we demand the best for our plants, so all three of us automate our grows with Autopots. Available in over 63 countries, gravity-powered Autopot systems rely on no pumps, no timers, and no power to operate. This plant-driven automated watering is so precise, it will reduce consumption of feed while increasing yield. An effective and efficient way to delegate a little responsibility. Let your plants feed themselves. Use code CC10 at autopot-usa.com. If quality is the name of your game, look no further than AC Infinity. AC Infinity's grow tents, lights, accessories, and ventilation systems offer reliability and affordability along with total environmental control. Use code CULTIVATION on acinfinity.com to save even more. Frass Valley produces the highest quality superworm frass. Naturally strengthen your plants and enhance their resistance to pests and disease. Use code CC10 at frassvalley.com. We are big fans of mass hydroponics. Whether you're a local in Massachusetts or accessing their full online catalog, they are your one-stop shop for all of your growing needs. Use code CC10 at mass-hydro.com.
What is going on, everybody out there in podcast land?
Oh, my darling.
How you doing tonight?
So how about you?
Good, man. I got a little baseball action going on while I'm podcasting.
Fuck yo, Phillies.
Lucky, man. It hasn't always been like this. You know, the Phillies are the most losing sports franchise in all of sports history. More losses than anyone.
You guys had a lot of good talent over the years, just never able to do anything with it, like Tommy and Howard. And I can't think of more. Schilling. You guys had Schilling at one point.
Yeah, we did. Well, the squad's pretty good right now, and I'm watching it like this. So if I'm seeming a little distracted, that's all that's going on.
Because it's
watching
you
some
are
playoff baseball. But my full attention's on you and the fam right now. care less. I'll tune in when we're done here. But yeah. What are you guys up to? Anything exciting?
Chilling. My Red Sox are not in the playoffs, so I have nothing to watch. Wah.
Oh, well, you guys were spoiled for so long, you know, up there in Boston. You had so many championships.
I mean,
and
look,
so
we've done
little.
pretty well for ourselves over the last couple decades, so it's hard to really complain.
You guys are killing me.
I'm sure a lot of people out there thinking the same thing, you know. Just, we're here to talk cannabis, not sports. But let's do a little segue in between. I just read that the NCAA has like recommended de-banning cannabis from like college sports players. Like you wouldn't be kicked out of like whatever sport you're playing if caught like, you know, smoking weed.
They should get extra award if you can fucking play sports and smoke weed.
Should they?
Yeah.
But like,
I think it's a brilliant idea.
I
So
think
here, pain management without opioids.
so. Yes, obviously there are like great pain management benefits, but could it be considered a performance enhancer in some way?
No, because maybe in your mind you might think it'll enhance your performance, but it doesn't. I can promise you that.
Isn't that like 90% of sports is half mental? Isn't that what John Madden used to say?
Yeah, no, 90. He used to say 90% of the game is half mental.
Yeah, so
didn't make any sense. But
no, it didn't. But you know what I mean? It's all like up in your head anyway. If you can like find a way to like get past the stress of the performance and that sort of thing, and like ease the anxiety and get out of your own head, maybe it is.
Yeah, but I mean, dude, like the truth is, most NBA players that overindulge are lazy and fucking, and it just shows. Like, you look at somebody like Derrick Rose, for instance, you know, like won an MVP and was never the same afterwards. Dude just smoked his way into dumbness. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't think it should go against him. I mean, the NBA stopped testing years ago. NFL is not testing for it anymore. I don't think baseball does.
It's considered medication. You shouldn't test for it.
That's kind of where the whole thing's headed. You know, it's just an interesting kind of conversation. I don't know. I mean, I've certainly like played golf and been way better when I'm stoned than when I'm not. Like there is a certain element of like focus maybe on like the way your body is moving, the way your body is kind of like in space, like awareness of your body sort of thing. Like, I'm just saying, like, there could be an argument for cannabis as a performance enhancer.
I think that if you took away cannabis then you could say that caffeine is a performance enhancer.
Yeah.
Helps you focus, keeps you awake, keeps you sharp.
And actually,
gives you extra energy. Okay. It's a performance enhancing drug.
I'm like 90% sure that if you have too much caffeine in like a sports drug test, they also flag you for it. Like, I don't know what the threshold is, but like, yeah, they don't want you using drugs to like get past the mental barrier that like some people face when performing in front of a bunch of people. And I think like for real, like cannabis, like what better to use really to like get past that? I don't know. Just saying. I wouldn't want, like, I think it's an advantage for some people, like myself, like truly. If I were a pitcher, if I were in a major league playoff game, I'd be high as a motherfucker on the mound beforehand. Well, maybe not as a motherfucker, but right, I'd have to have smoked a little bit beforehand, right, to like get in the zone. And you don't want me when I'm in the zone.
D Rose was a lazy bum. Sorry. I'll stand by that 100%. Yeah. He didn't tear his ACL the year after he won the MVP. He tore his ACL afterwards, and then he was never the same afterwards.
Oh, we're talking to the chat. I see.
Yep.
Hey, man. Like definitely for easing pain instead of opiates. Like we're all on board with that. So yeah, let's talk cannabis, guys. What are you smoking?
I just smoked a big fatty of some anaphylaxis before I jumped on board.
Fuck yeah. Little, like a fatty, meaning a cone, or did you roll it?
No, I rolled one like the size of my pinky. Smoked almost all of
Nice.
it. Yep.
Nice, man.
Yep, that qualifies.
What's that one taste like?
It's got like a earthy, citrusy, skunky taste, but mostly earthy. I enjoy it.
I'll drink to that.
Yeah, a few of my buddies don't like it, but a few of them do. It's definitely a mixed bag on
Old school. Sounds
people
old
who
school.
like it and people who don't. You know, it's one of those things though. In the way of pure Michigan, that people feel strongly opinionated about it. They either really like it or they really hate it.
It's a mass medical, right?
Yep.
So it's probably got some obscure lineage. Like, you know, he likes to tout those
I believe it was
land racy
Bodie-
almost.
Bodie's Prayer Tower crossed with Gorilla Glue 4.
Cool. She sounds really good. What about
What are
you,
drinking,
G3?
Cap? I was gonna ask what you were drinking.
This is a nice IPA.
Surprise, surprise.
Right, I know. Honestly, I think IPAs pair very nicely with most strains of cannabis. Just terp-wise, you know, you get the
Those hops.
hoppy, citrusy.
Remember when you could only find like 2 or 3 IPAs in a liquor store?
Oh yeah.
Oh my
Now-
gosh, now you can't find anything but.
Seriously, I'm getting a little annoyed by it, actually, honestly. Like when I'm looking for a new craft beer to drink, I have to sort through 95 different IPAs to find something, you know. And look, I like a good IPA. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's just
There's
give me
so
something
many.
different. Give me something a little different.
So many, man. I mean,
They say like a Pilsner is harder to make, so maybe that's why.
it is.
You know?
It is. It is. You can hide more mistakes in an IPA because there's just so much going on. You know what I mean? Like a Pilsner is actually like, yeah, one of the hardest types of beer to make. There's just, if there's anything off, there's nowhere to hide, you know? So,
And I think we're getting out of control with like these double, triple fucking IPAs. Like, dude, I don't.
Infinity IPA.
Tastes like shit. Some of them, you know, it's too much.
it's too much. Hey, it's a big, you know, it's cyclical. Everything always comes back to like the traditional styles, though, and like the more old school type stuff. Same way with smoking, you know, like people just they get into new stuff. Like look at the market right now. Everyone's into like hash, right? Everyone's into just high test, high grade. Like if you want to call it like maybe the IPA of weed, you know, like
Give me a good lager
dank.
every now and then. You know what I mean? You don't have to flood the market with IPAs. Where's all the lagers at?
It's got to be like
Those are the
thing.
skunks. The loggers are the skunks. They're gone.
Yeah, the all day, like the weed you could like smoke all day with like almost like, what do they call it? Like a no ceiling on the high. That's what like a lager lets you do. It's just like you can keep drinking a 4.5% beer all day at a picnic, and you're like, there's no ceiling to how drunk you can get because you can imbibe 19 of them in an afternoon at a family get together. There's really like there's no stopping you. But it's same way with like maybe a skunk or like Northern Lights or something like more old school. Those old like sub 20%ers, man, they just hit you differently.
I agree.
Don't dismiss those sub 20%.
No,
I
no.
like them. Oh my gosh. That like
No.
Aunt Jenny's elixir knocked my fucking socks off.
Yeah.
I haven't been that high in a really long time. And she's, you know, like I think she's supposed to be a 20-1 or something like that.
So
Yeah.
a little
Give me
CBD
under
mixed in
20%.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me
I like partying with lots of people. Bring in the entourage.
for sure. I like a little like social buzz with my
Yeah.
you know, with my high.
Social gathering.
Just talking to the chat here. Listen, Miller High Life. If I'm out and about and like I'm at a gas station and I just want a good, I know it's going to be a good beer. You really can't go wrong with the High Life, man.
Oh, it's a classic, dude.
It really is the champagne of beers.
I can't argue that point. I like a Pabst sometimes, you know, Pabst Blue Ribbon. It's amazing they've been sailing on that fucking Blue Ribbon, though, since 1893. Won it like at a World's Fair before the 20th century started. Oh, well, we got a Blue Ribbon. That's it, boys. That's our marketing strategy for the next 200 years.
Pack it up, sell it.
Doesn't go up from there.
No, that's really, can't get much higher than that. But yeah, I have, speaking of getting higher than that, I have a little Violet Beauregard. Sure, I've talked about it before.
The one you should have kept but didn't.
A non-kept keeper?
No, actually, this is the one I thought was the keeper that like yielded a shit ton. I probably have more of this one left than any, and it's still fucking awesome. Don't get me wrong, like it's really good. It just has a different note to it, which I hadn't been really able to figure out until recently. Like the other one's blueberries and gas. Like it's really easy. And this one has blueberry, but there's something else, and it's more like herbal, and it reminds me of something like in my spice cabinet. And I was like, well, so I didn't know, right? And I know I've smelled it before, and I went into my spice cabinet, smelling all of them, right?
I love that.
Sage is a good guess, but it wasn't that.
I've run into sage more than once before.
Yeah,
so that's
for sure.
They were in my mind went.
And sage is like this. I don't even know how to describe the smell of sage. It's only like it smells like
sage.
Sage.
Smells like stuffing.
A little bit, yeah. But it's this earthy, piney kind of thing. And like, yeah, I get that in a lot of cannabis for sure. This one you would never guess. It took me to the back of the fucking spice cabinet. And I'll give you another guess if you want to try.
Cream retarder.
Cream retarder?
Cream of tartar.
Cream of tartar. Nope. Is that a spice? Or is that a fucking cream?
Yeah, it's in the spice cabinet.
What the fuck? We got a lot of guesses in the chat, you know.
Stony could chime in.
Stony guesses rosemary, thyme, oregano. We got cumin coming in.
Yeah,
we
I would say my mind went to cumin.
Nope, that's a good guess. You know, isn't cumin like what they use in tacos?
Yeah, part of it.
Wouldn't that be cool? Like a taco terps? It'd be awesome. Ooh. But no, not that. Not that. Not clove.
Taco and cheese. Oh man.
You would never guess. Like honestly, so it was celery salt.
Celery salt.
Celery salt. Ever hear of the stuff?
I mean, yeah,
Celery
I have it
salt.
in my cabinet, but like,
yeah.
Wow, that's very
specific. I know.
Specific.
Very specific, and like the stuff was like fucking spot on. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, Stony says Bloody Mary. Like it's a very common ingredient in Bloody Marys with like a little white pepper. Yeah, really good. If you like a good Bloody Mary, for sure. It's a weird smell, and it only developed recently after like cure. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, make some other terpene degraded or turned into this one. Super weird, but I like it. Like
yeah, it's like they mature like a wine. You know, you get those grapes that turn into wines.
Yeah,
especially
nice,
those fruity ones. So.
Big fat buds. Big fat ones. So yeah, celery salt. Just like it. Yeah, it smells like the top of a Bloody Mary. Without the tomato, but like for sure, just fucking weird. I know.
That's the first for me.
I had to solve the mystery. I just followed my nose. That's a wise man once said.
At least you didn't follow your nose into some truck stop pussy.
Well, maybe this coming run, I'll have a lot to talk about in that department. We got the skunks and the sours, you know.
So I've got this new funky Magnifera, which is mango smile crossed with livers from Frisco Genetics.
And that's what you're smoking on? Something different.
Ooh.
She's just out of dry and into cure. So this is very new. This is like probably only my second or third time actually trying her. She's okay. There's nothing wrong with her. She's very middle of the road. But I also didn't treat her particularly well. She was caught up in that whole pH pen fiasco where I was feeding them super, super low. So that obviously had an effect. But yeah, she's fine. She's good for shows. She doesn't make me an idiot.
She funky?
A little bit. She's not too much of anything. She's not particularly fruity, but yeah, there's a little bit of fruit in there. She's not particularly skunky, but sure, yeah, there's some skunk in there. She's just kind of middle of the road.
Okay.
Not great, not terrible.
So not really
she's
like your
good.
cup of tea.
She's just meh,
She's not super impressed.
I
Would
mean,
you
gosh,
grow
not
her again?
everything you... I think I would grow her again because I feel like she can be better than this. I feel like she is this way because me screwing the pooch. So, give her another chance. Absolutely sure. And she's a mango baby. She can't be bad.
Why can't you be more like your sister?
Seriously.
Yeah, right?
Marsha. Yeah, so we'll see. I'll probably grow her again, I'm sure. I really like those mango crosses now, though. I'm really far behind at this point. I'm never going to get them all.
There are a lot of mango babies, like you said.
Gotta keep planting.
Fuck ton.
Yep.
But, yeah. So, tonight, I kind of wanted to get into a little bit of a conversation about, saving money in the garden, in the grow. That, it's something we all got to be conscious of as any level of cultivator that you may be, whether it's home grower to a professional, running a business. Obviously, you're keeping track of your finances. But where in the grow can we cut corners? Where can we not? Where is it best, to put all your money up front, or is it best to get something, starter equipment, and then grow with, what you got and upgrade along the way? So I don't know. Right away, my mind goes to lighting. When I'm thinking about money in the garden, that's probably the biggest investment anyone's going to make, whether you're hanging one light or you're hanging 40 lights. They cost a lot of money. My rule is always buy once, cry once. For most things that cost a little bit, go with a reputable brand. Go with one that's not entry level. Save a little more. It's worth it, in my opinion.
I'd also not recommend spending $600 on your first light. Keep it within reason.
Well, it depends how big of a garden you got, too.
I mean, that's true. That's very true.
You want a 4x4, you're going to be spending $600 on a light. That's a deal.
I actually don't recommend people spend that type of money on lighting to start off with. You can get cheaper lights that do just as good of a job. For instance, the Bloom Pluses that use the different Samsung diode, what they do to achieve the same, output is they put more chips on the board and underpower them, and you end up getting the same light output that you would with a more expensive fixture. And I haven't seen any negligible difference between those and ones that are using the 301Hs or 301Bs. I really don't think they're where I would tell you to spend your money on and not skimp out on. First of all, you're going to need a tent. Don't buy a cheap fucking tent. Just don't. It's just not worth it. Spend money and get yourself a really good tent. And then the same thing with your exhaust and carbon filter.
See,
I think you can cheap out on lights and get away with it. Because, like, let's say you for a 4x4, you buy a couple of cheap lights or one big one. If it dies, you could still buy another one. You'll still be ahead of the game. But I mean, I've been at this for a long time. I haven't had any of my fixtures die on me.
yeah.
Not one, even the cheaper ones. I had some problems with one of my HLGs. Some of the diodes went out, and they sent me new boards to replace it. But the other ones I haven't really had any issues with at all.
My first light was a King Bright or something like that from.
Yeah, I think those King Brights are fine.
Is that the one?
Then it went to Cap.
Yeah,
and then it went to
and then
rare
it went
orange
to
after
rare
that.
orange. Yeah,
and
yeah.
That thing is still chugging along
still
years later. So like, I had zero problems with it. It was.
I might take it back. But yeah,
take it back from you.
You should. Thing's still a beast. A 240 watt quantum board. You know.
Yeah,
like
it was great.
I mean,
I loved everything about it.
If there's two ways to go when it comes to lighting, right? Like Monster is, just go with like the cheapest LED you can find, right? Like Amazon, sure.
Pretty much. I mean, as long as it's got Samsung diodes and a decent driver, you're good to go.
Decent, like
it was
decent
something
spread.
Tried and true, I would say. Like the reason I went with King Bright, or if you go with like I think Miju is another one that's really well known. These are tried and true brands that lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of growers have used before and have put. They wouldn't be recommending them as much as they do. Not as many people would be using them as much as they do if they didn't actually work.
It's true. I mean, you can find recommendations for fucking everything, though. Doesn't matter.
It's pretty overwhelming, especially for those two. For beginner growers, like if you're starting on like the Reddit boards, which is where I started. So, that's all they recommend. Get something from Alibaba.
From Alibaba.
They're all cheap
now,
though. Like,
look,
I'm pulling up like Mars Hydro and Spider Farmer lights. Like the 100-watt fixtures are like $110. 300-watt fixtures, $220. Like you don't have to spend a shitload of money. And I would actually advise people to get multiple fixtures as opposed to just one.
Yep. That's a good way to do it.
That's a good idea.
You'll get way better spread, and you'll actually a lot of times pay less. For some reason, it always seems to be cheaper to get two smaller fixtures than one bigger one for whatever reason.
Not to mention, if something does happen, then you have at least one light to limp you through instead of the lights at all.
True.
That's what do they say? Two is one and one is none.
Fucks up or something.
Yeah, right. If you run into any kind of challenge that some people out there have faced with their lights, like myself,
I'm not telling you like don't go out and spend big money on a light because you really can't. You can't go wrong.
Necessary. It's not.
I just don't think it's necessary. Like the things that I definitely would not cheap out on ever, and that is like the tent itself and my ventilation because I need those have to be dependent.
So it's funny you mentioned tents because I think a cheap tent is just fine. Like there's. What's wrong with a cheapo tent from wherever it comes from?
Generally speaking, it doesn't
leak anything.
Especially the zippers are usually trash on.
Nothing leaking from my cheap tent. It's just there's maybe a little bit of light coming through that zipper that's not as high quality as some other zippers. But like Monster says, the light coming out of the tent far more than the light that would be going into the tent from outside. Mm-hmm. There's no light going in to the tent, and it's like a no-name brand from fucking Amazon. Like it's not even a Mars Hydro.
You can find some,
and it's lasted me the better part of 3 years now. I think I think a cheap tent, as long as it is made with like steel poles, like the basic kind of shit. I mean, I'm not hard on my equipment. You know what I mean? It stays in the same spot. Like, I can set it and forget it. The tent is one of those things I was just like, give me any old tent. I'll make it work,
I don't know. I'm kind of a gorilla. I've ripped apart so many of those zippers, and I just gave up. Like, truthfully, look, I've been as hard on this company as anybody else, but right now, dollar for dollar, I don't think you can buy a better tent than AC Infinity. Not to mention that they have the control board on the outside where you can mount your fan control.
Oh yeah, that's
And it's just
fancy.
kind of it's
So-
like easy peasy.
The new controllers have a magnet built in to the back of the controller. So even if you don't have that little fancy pocket to like hang your AC Infinity controller outside of your AC Infinity tent, you can just stick it right up there on the magnet like it's a refrigerator.
Yeah.
It's fucking
Mine
awesome.
has one of those. It's great too because it's way above where I am. So
Yeah.
I have to like get a stool to mess with it, but with the magnet I can just grab it and do whatever. Put
Oh,
my stuff up.
it's the best. I just like I came upon that realization by accident one day, and I was so overjoyed. Just those simple things, you know, simple little things. So
The thickness of that tent makes a difference. I definitely have less like scars.
Somebody
and
needs
stuff on
to-
the inside of
We
my
need to
AC
grab
Infinity.
we need to grab that quote. Thickness
What's
makes
that?
a difference.
shut up,
difference.
shut up.
It does.
Did I say that? Who said
No,
that?
G3 just said
G3
it.
said that. All right.
That's what made it good. You know?
This makes a difference. Tent girth matters.
That is
people.
literally what she said.
Yeah, it's
literally-
really important. I actually fell once inside a tent. I was overreaching and I fell. And
How
that
do you fall?
AC Infinity like saved my life because I caught myself on the tent wall and it stayed up. If I
No
did that
shit.
in my Vivos, and I'd knock the fucking tent over.
Fair.
No, but that tent stayed there. It didn't move. Saved my life. Saved my plant's life.
You like use the tent wall as like an actual
Yeah,
wall.
I was like leaning way over and trying to water, or do something, grab a leaf, I don't know, do something way in the back, and I should have moved the plant and just gone around it or something, but I didn't. I was leaning way over and I lost my balance and slipped and I caught myself on the back of the tent.
No shit.
Saved my plant. It's like really, AC Infinity tents matter.
Okay.
Yeah. I also
So-
think that the increased thickness is better for temperature regulation.
Oh, for sure. Like thick insulation in like an attic, like that.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, it'll definitely keep temperatures.
Keep your heat in,
in-
keep your cool in, whatever it is. Regulated.
Fair point.
The biggest thing you should be looking for when you're buying a tent, whether it's AC Infinity or not, Captain already mentioned it, steel poles, but steel corners as well. Because I see a lot of these steel poles sliding into plastic brackets in the corners, and that's just dog shit. You don't want that.
Yeah. Steel all around. And if you can't do a pull up on one of your tent poles, maybe don't.
I don't know. I wouldn't be
Maybe-
advising that.
Yeah, don't try to do that. Don't.
I've-
Like, I mean, what is the heaviest light you've ever held weigh? I mean, my light right now
Like
is
the
heavy
HLG
as
480
fuck.
is like 22 pounds, 23
Dude,
pounds.
mine's almost 50.
Really?
44 and a half pounds, this fixture, because it's got like a big heat sink and a big like it's got 3 drivers in it, basically, one for each channel, and there's not really a way to take that off. I'm sure I could if I really wanted to, but it's heavy as fuck.
Does that run super hot?
No, it's the coolest light ever because the thing is so big. Yeah, no, it's really weird. I have to add. I'm already adding heat back into that tent because this light it's that optic LED one that I have, which I'm super happy with, and I'm impressed with it so far. I mean, that's the one that does like each individual channel has like a way to control it individually. So there's white, there's blue, and there's red, and I can add as much or as little as I want of those individual spectrums, and then like program in a way to like imitate sunrises and sunsets. I mean, you can get crazy with this stuff. I could add like a 15-minute cloud cover in like the middle of the day if I wanted to. You know?
I'm sure that.
I'm not saying it does. Like, yeah, I have to agree with you, which is why I didn't do that. Like, I don't think you need to go that far. But in my experience, home grower who's just trying to be self-sufficient is going to be best served buying like a name brand light quality fixture. Again, buy once, cry once. Make sure it has a warranty. Make sure the company is going to be around in 5 years to potentially honor that warranty. That's a big thing. Like, we have these companies that are like fly-by-night operations. You just pack up and leave one day. Oop, sorry guys, not in business anymore. All those warranties are void.
Some of them pretty big name companies too. Just tough.
For sure. For sure. I mean, of course, you don't know what that's going to be, but maybe go. Like it is kind of like I'm killing the rest of the market here, but just go with the big dogs, for real. I like an American brand because I can contact customer service if something goes wrong very easily. Like Optics, California based, I believe. So, take it for what it's worth. I like to spend a little more on my lights and less on my tents, maybe.
Yeah, we all have our own style,
But I don't know. One thing I think you do need to, like one way that I've been saving money, okay? It was kind of my vision from like the get-go is like in doing this organic style of gardening. I wanted to like reuse and recycle as much as possible. And in that is like a big part of that is the medium that I'm using. My soil, which does come from a store at first. I buy the same soil that many of you get. I've used the Happy Frog. I think I've recommended it before. It's the same, it's Fox Farm, but it's called Strawberry Fields. Better than Happy Frog, in my opinion, because it has a little cocoa in it. It's geared for flower. Better. I love the stuff. But they also have Coco Loco now, and
they have Ocean Forest. They got
Ocean Forest. Any of that stuff is great. Like a nice organic base bagged soil. I love my Stonington blend. There's so many different name brand soils that you can get. Just don't start with like Miracle Grow. Don't do that.
It's so hard. I mean, it can be done. You can grow with Miracle Grow. It is really difficult, though.
You could.
Cannabis does not like that slow release.
It's too hot. Loaded with too much synthetic bullshit. Now, I will say this much. They do have a Miracle Grow organic soil. Stuff's kick ass. I've seen really good results with it from different people. But they're straight up regular Miracle Grow planting soil. Stay the fuck away from it. Potting soil, stay the fuck away from it. The Miracle Grow organic, though, in the black bag, I've seen many people crush it with that stuff.
Have to look into it, but most if you go to like your Lowe's or Walmart or wherever, that's all they're gonna have is that like Miracle Grow crap, and not great for cannabis, like you said, because you can't control like the slow release nitrogen, which is something we do want to control at the end of our plants' lives, So again, this whole I love my organic soil because it's easily reused, re-amended, converted into like a new product again. Like I've probably been using, some of it has gone outside into like my vegetable garden, but I do have some soil in my pots right now. Like there's grains of soil that I've bought in that first bag of Strawberry Fields way back in the day when I first started. Like I'm sure I'm still using some of it because it can all just be continuously re-amended, reused. You don't have to go buy more bags if you don't want to. It's easy.
So is that I know we like that because it's environmentally friendly. Generally, we like reusing things. Is it cost efficient to re-amend soil, or
absolutely
versus just buying new bags? So
It
break
is.
it
You
down
can
for
just
me.
buy
What do
some
you use-
amendments.
What do you use to re-amend? And how long does those amendments last you? How many bags? Soil, I guess. Could you re-amend?
So let's just, I don't know, use generalities here. A bag of soil, like 1.5 cubic feet, whatever the fuck measurement that is. What do you get? It's for me, it's like $30 sometimes, like 25, $30. Maybe you can get it $22.98. That's a good deal. Whatever. Like that's, and you're gonna have to buy multiple bags. Okay, like if you're gonna want to start like doing this re-amending kind of recycling soil program too, it's gonna take more than just like one fill of all your pots too, because takes a little bit of time then in between cycles, but not much. But I like to have the perpetual garden, so by like you're gonna want to like double up on the soil you could possibly fit in your tent at any given time. Does that make sense? At least to start, like have a base to work with. So the two things that I use, the only two things that I use to re-amend my soil at this point, Craft Blend from Build-A-Soil. I'm sure a lot of people out there were thinking that before I said it. It's your one-stop shop to everything you need, what NPK, micronutrients, everything in between too. It's even got like growth hormone type stuff. Really good shit, guys. And it's got immediately available and slow release. So it's a very good blend. Plus, worm castings. Fresh compost. Worm castings work best for me. I don't know if there's any other kind of compost you could really use. Is there? Mushroom compost?
We're at a lot of people using that lately.
Yeah. Any kind of compost will add back in that. It's about the microbial life, really, at that point. And you can even, like I see you there, Rev. You can make your own castings. Super easy, like if you really want to like start to close the loop and that kind of stuff, you just get a little worm bin, let them go to town. That's all you need. It's like it's not a lot of castings, but so I have a guy that I go to.
Got a worm casting.
Got a local worm casting source.
Did your worm castings fall off the back of a truck?
No, they did not. They came right from this guy's backyard. Actually, I'll show you the site, right? Because super cool. And you've probably seen it. It's the Urban Worm Company. Ever hear of them?
I have.
Yep, I've
Urban
got their bag. I just
Worm
haven't
Co.
used it yet.
You haven't used it? Really?
No, started it.
Oh man, you got to use that.
I know.
So they're based like super close to where we are at, G3.
Yep, I know it.
And go Urban Worm Company. Yeah, really cool guy. This is his business, right? He makes these bags. You can make your own worm castings, literally in your kitchen if you don't have any room outdoors. You can buy his worm castings from him. Like he'll ship them to you, and they're fucking awesome. Like I mean, like black gold, man, black gold. I'm sure you could find some of comparable quality. I've never seen any that are better. And really, when it comes to castings, that's kind of what it's all about is the freshness. Because again, you're adding microbial life. So it's a living product. But yeah, they have bricks of cocoa too. So like there you go. That's another cool way you can save money on medium, on your media. is get your own like bricks. Start from scratch. You can mix up your own medium. 30.
You're here first. Captain told you to go out and get them bricks. Stop making some money.
But you got to cut them up first.
Yeah, gotta cut them bricks
with perlite. 30%. Right now, but really, 30% perlite. Actually, I don't even think you'd have to add perlite with this cocoa, right? You could just use it straight up.
You could, but you're gonna want some aeration, especially with worm castings. It's gonna get a little compacted.
Yo, look at this. He'll ship you a pallet. You want a pallet of worm castings? Up to 2,250 pounds.
What does that pallet go for? Just curious. That's pretty cheap.
1,000 pounds is $745. 2,000 pounds, a little over 1,100. The real bargain is at the 2,250 for 1,200.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have all, like, again, it's about freshness. So I just get a bag or two. It lasts for a cycle. I re-amend a batch. I use it all. Maybe have some left to top dress with at the start of flower, but yeah, cool company, guys. But yeah, Monster, have you ever buffered your own cocoa?
Oh my God, I did that in my first grow ever. What a fucking nightmare.
I mean, I get it fully saturated with my nutrient solution of whatever I'm using. That's the only buffering I really do.
Like the first watering is full strength.
Heavy. Well, not full strength, but like whatever the plants are going to be feeding on, I'll just really soak the pot with that and get a lot of runoff, so I know it's soaked, and that's it.
That's cool. So, I mean, doing it's probably a bit of a pain in the ass, from what I'm gathering.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You gotta wash it repeatedly.
Yeah, you gotta soak it and then.
I just put them on a riser and then just flood them, so it drips out.
Otherwise, you're gonna have serious calcium and magnesium problems in your grow. Yeah, and right? It is really difficult in some cases to find out if the cocoa you're trying to use has been buffered or not.
No, I don't reuse.
They don't say.
I don't reuse.
Most of the cocos that they sell, like bagged up, like the Royal Gold, I think, or what's the other brand I see a lot?
Yeah, the ones that are like ready to dump in, I'd say.
Yeah, they're all buffered.
It's the bricks.
They're probably not. They're probably not. And like you said,
they are, but it's hard to find out. So make sure your medium is buffered if you're using. For sure. God, you will run into problems.
Yeah, you want to really fully saturate your cocoa. Make sure you get runoff. Otherwise, you'll notice that the EC and the pH of it, if you don't, it'll be way off.
Because the cocoa like tries to take the calcium from something. The calcium gets all fucked up.
Yeah, and mostly it's pretty hot too. Some of the stuff, if you just take regular water and with 0 ppm and run it through a pot full of cocoa and then measure that ppm after, it won't be 0. I promise you that.
So I think your medium is something you can really like wiggle around, like you can work with, whether it's cocoa or soil. Now, Monster, you said you don't reuse cocoa ever.
No, time is money, man.
What do you do with it?
Takes way too. I just throw it in my backyard.
Yeah, it's just becomes
compost. It goes into the compost pile.
All right, bet you they got some dank weeds growing out in that compost pile.
100%. Yeah. And then I get in there every couple of months and just mix it up, turn it over. And then when I need compost tea, I just go to it. So a good majority of my compost is cocoa.
Now you could, if you wanted to, reuse cocoa.
You
correct?
could. Yeah,
Would it be the same process as buffering, just washing and then...
It's very similar. You just shake out the root ball, and I mean, I have reused it in the past, but just to rip apart the fabric pots, take out the root ball, shake everything off. It takes too long, and I don't have enough time as it is to do this shit.
Yeah, I hear you.
So,
well, if you're really looking to reuse, I mean, you said it right there, I think, without even realizing it. Fabric pots are a pain in the ass to reuse. Even though they are good at, like, you know, root pruning, I think, like, what are the pots I have? These, like, Rain Science grow bags. I invested a little bit more on the pots.
Air bottom bags and any of those, and they'll last forever.
They're like a nice mesh, really nice, like, high quality mesh, which makes it, like, they're super easy to clean.
I don't reuse my pots either because I just get the cheap ones from 247 Garden. They're like
are they
$1.
mesh?
No, they're like they're whatever
fabric.
Yeah, they're like $1.25 a piece. At that point, it's just not even worth reusing. Just throw it out, get another one.
There you go. I mean, there you go. Again, it's either one or the other. Like buy the cheapest
I have a buddy
option
that owns a company
burn through it, or
he takes them a lot of
spend
time.
more.
He takes them and uses them as landscape fabric. That's basically all they are.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Interesting. Just a little burlap, basically. You know, for my purposes, like it's again, I spend a little more, I get more value out of the thing. Lasts a little longer before I have to replace them, and for like, you know, the tent pirate home grower, it's really what it's all about. Is like investing some and then not investing much more, and just getting harvest after harvest after harvest of, you know, amazing quality stuff. So like it's just more upfront, I think, gets you further.
Yeah. Plus, they're customizable. You can make them super cute.
What, the honor ones?
Great. Honor bags and air bottom bags.
I love
and
those
all
things.
of those.
You're such a girl.
Customizable, baby. That girl makes me happy. Other way it does. I open it every day and I'm like, oh God, those pots are cute.
And again, if you're just the hobbyist home grower who has like one or two or a couple plants in like a 2x4, why not? Why not spend a little extra money on like colorful, like handmade grow bag that you can reuse, and like, I don't know, just add something a little extra to your tent.
Plus, if you grow different strains, you got 3 different colors running in there. It's real easy to tell just by glancing at them which plant is which.
Yep.
Good point.
For sure. Now, Outcast raises a really good point. Right. For all people who out there who are trying to be discreet, you know, if we're in prohibition land, what we don't want is a lot of garden waste being brought outside from the house and then like being utilized in some fashion in like this year's vegetable garden. Like, there are some neighbors out there who may snoop and pry to the point that like they could notice that, you know, that's something.
Yeah.
It's something. Okay. Like, and for me, like I keep most of the soil like that I'm reusing and recycling. It's in the basement in like a tub, you know. I add the craft blend, I add the castings, like I'll mix them up. I'll let it sit for, you know, add a little bit of water, cover it up, let it sit for a couple weeks, and it doesn't get like what do they call it? Thermophilic.
It doesn't cook. It's not getting hot.
Yeah, it doesn't cook. It doesn't get hot. There's no heat being generated. But I still like to let it just sit because I feel like it's more ready to go. kind of just my feeling. I'm basing that on not much else. So cook it or not. I think if you do get like, what I'm trying to say is if the composts, it depends on what kind of compost you add. Sometimes you'll get a thermophilic reaction when you re-amend a soil or when you mix one from scratch. You don't want to use it until that's over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know that much.
So I just, my best practices are just like let it wait for a couple weeks and then it's good to go. So
you could smell that soil when it's like cooking too, like when some of that shit that's getting really hot.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I've cracked the door open at friends' house. I'm like, dude, you just mix some soil up? I can smell that shit. And then you go down and you can feel it. Like if you put your hand over it, it's warm. It's fucking. The first time I saw that, I was like blown away by it. Like, yay, science type of shit. Wild.
Yeah. I think that's just the it's just the types of biology that cycle through it. Like the first couple, like they generate heat, quite literally. So you got to wait till those die off and the other ones like kind of colonize it. Takes a few weeks. Pretty interesting. Yeah. So lighting, media, definitely. I mean, tents, potentially ways you can save money. I think you mentioned it, Monster. I would never advise skimping on your ventilation. If that's not working, you don't have a functional grow space.
Well, it's not even just that. Like some of the cheaper ones, like, look, those things are going to be running 24 hours a day. Do you really want to trust your house to the cheap shit like a fan that's going to fucking catch on fire? Because that's the first thing that will catch on fire in your grow. It's not your light. It's not your heater. It's your cheap fucking fan. They're their number one cause of fires in grow spaces is cheap fans.
Really?
Yep, 100%.
We're just talking about those Vivo Sun ones.
Yeah. Nope.
No, all of them.
Just say no.
Yeah, that's
damn.
I mean, that could potentially create a lot of friction if things aren't balanced. Spinning all the time.
Yeah, I don't trust them. And look, if you don't believe me, as soon as you get off this podcast, just go search Vivo Sun Fan Fire, and you can come up with dozens of stories with pictures to prove it. So, no, thank you. Especially those little
thanks.
white clip-on fans.
Oof. Well, is that something you would just want to spend a little more on?
Yeah, 100%.
Any kind of anything that's running the majority of the time.
Anything
or
that's
triggering
there, really
on
just buy something of quality.
And it's not like quality stuff is that much more expensive. AC Infinity is not prohibitively expensive.
No.
Like a lot of their stuff is really decent. Their inline fans are top of the line. I wouldn't recommend anybody above them, and they're not hugely expensive, really compared to the other stuff.
No, what else? Like I've seen old school like inline fan brands. Monster probably knows more of them, like Can Air or Can.
Can. Those are good. They're expensive, but they're good. They work. Really though, there's only one that you really should be buying. It's the AC Infinity. I'm not just saying that because we have a coupon code.
We do. It's a cultivation. Go use it.
You can just set everything on a parameter. I mean, like, no fucking around. You don't have to buy an extra controller or anything, and they work and they're pretty power efficient. So
those were the ones
to show you that I'm not biased. In my opinion, the best fan on the market is called Hyperfan, but they're really expensive, and they don't come with temperature controllers. So if you want a temp controller, it's an extra $100. You're looking at like over $400 to buy an 8-inch fan. But
what makes a fan if it's your favorite, but it doesn't have the control systems?
Just because it's so quiet and it uses actually less power than the AC Infinities. They're super efficient. Yeah.
Yeah, we're like calculating efficacy of fans when we really want to save our electricity. We really want to get thrifty. We're like every single watt being used has to be like converted by that machine into whatever mechanical
CFM
function it's made to generate, whether it's CFM or like photons. What's the measurement for lights? It's like U moles per watt.
Yeah, basically U moles per joule. Yeah.
It's like the measurement of how well that fixture turns electricity into light.
Mm-hmm. And the more efficient it is, the less heat you'll have too.
Same for a fan.
Yeah.
But like, does that...
You're looking for CFM basically to quantify a fan's efficiency.
I mean, if you really want to tally it up, if you really want to be like super OCD about saving money, you could tally up all that stuff. Like efficacy of all your appliances, look at your electricity bill. So that's, and over time, too, you will find that your investments initially are reflected in your monthly electric bill.
100%.
And that is something like you will pay every month.
It's often overlooked, really.
Whether you want to or not. The hit that your electric bill is going to take. Now, listen, a lot of people ask me, like, because they know I'm in Prohibition land, blah, blah, blah. It's like, how much of a hit? Do you think it raises any flags? That sort of stuff. No, I don't think the amount that it went up, I don't think generated it didn't raise a single eyebrow. I don't think. Let's just say. It's equivalent to like adding another refrigerator or like another washing machine or dryer.
Look, the power company likes money. Unless you live in like
maybe you mine Bitcoin
or state. I don't think you really have to worry about increased electricity usage unless it's like crazy, But look, at the end of the day, your home's only going to be able to handle so much.
Truth. And again, we all know I had to upgrade my electricity. I have not a small home grow, but I have multiple tents. Always run like my electricity bill more than doubled. Okay, from what it was before I started any of this. It's sometimes almost tripled what it was. Okay. What it was to start with, like, wasn't much to begin with. So it's like I'm not even like it's a bill. Okay, it sucks to have to pay.
I mean, one way you can actually change part of that is, even if you're an indoor grower, start paying attention to the outside seasons. Look at your temperatures and humidities for the entire year and plot out your grows and what's most favorable for the plants during that time of their life. So like, maybe don't have seedlings in the dead of summer when it's so hot and dry that you can't stand it. Maybe don't have plants in full flower in Pennsylvania shoulder seasons when it's so humid you can practically taste the air. Like, use things in your favor. If you're in the right period of their lives during the right time outside, you won't have to be doing the opposite in order to keep your plants happy.
Yeah, and in most cases, it's always cheaper to run your equipment at night. You get peak time energy use and nighttime energy use. The price is completely different.
I'm running everything from 9
Get the majority of it going, during nighttime hours, you'll be much better off.
Agreed. My flower cycle's 9 p.m. to 9 a.m. Lights on for my plants. That's their daytime.
Temperature is more regulated with your lights on and everything too.
But you're right. Like, look at that. Look at that gray kitty. You're right though, G3. Like, the highest hit to my electric bill by far comes in the summertime when I'm running AC and a DHU, like in combination with each other, like whether they're running simultaneously or they're cycling back and forth just to keep it at what I like to set it at. They have to work. So like, yeah,
but if they don't have to work so hard, then you're saving money in the long run.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's crossed my mind, like, just to not even grow during the summer months. Like, just power down my whole grow for 3 months, 4 months of the year.
There's a couple of grows that I don't fuck with in the summertime. Just not worth it. Plus, I want to have more time to go out and do shit. That's when you're, having fun.
Yeah.
Spending more time with the family.
Yeah. Dude, look at her like hugging you, man. That's
This is like cute. She's the coolest cat, dude. She's like 3.5 pounds, full grown. She's tiny. Her name is Georgie.
Georgie.
She was inherited from my mother-in-law.
Oh, those are the best. I got an inherited cat.
She's not as pretty as the other one, but she's cool. I like her more. She's more friendly.
Looks like she has that silky kind of.
Yeah.
Fur.
Very silky. And she's super friendly. And she likes to just get in on your shoulder and cuddle.
Oh. That's too much. So, I don't know. You guys have, like, any other things that you like to think about as far as being thrifty? Garden?
Not good at being thrifty.
Well, I mean, you don't have to spend a shitload of money on nutrients either. I mean, everybody knows I use Athena. It's pretty cheap. I see a lot of nutrients out there that will definitely break the budget. One in particular, Advanced. It's fucking
87 bottles later. You're broke.
So as far as nutrients, you can always buy another bottle. You know what I mean? Like, that's their marketing strategy is like, add this. See, like, this will happen. You want this effect, you got to add this input.
If you're going to use salts, try to find something powder-based because you're paying for the water.
Hit the nail on the head, for sure. And if you're going to get it shipped to you, especially, like, you're going to pay shipping water weight. You know what I mean? Like,
who wants that? You're getting less. You're paying more and getting less. Just kind of silly. Just for the convenience of having it mixed up for you.
Yeah.
It's fucking easy enough to do yourself.
Your best dollar, like your most efficient dollar in the nutrient department is spent on a powdered, like
almost always, yeah.
Whether I don't want to say like a one part, but like having multiple things in one kind of formula. You know what I mean? Like, it's got N, it's got P, it's got K. It might even have additional, like, micronutrients, silica. Who knows? Like, they can add it all into one formula. Science be like that. So, like, the less it's broken up, the I guess some people would argue you have less control over it that way, but, like, at least find a nutrient that has a base, like an A and a B. There's less bottles. Spend as little as possible.
Yeah, that's why I like the Athena. It's 3 parts. You're only using 2 at once. It's a core and grow or core and bloom. Easy to mix, easy to keep track of. It's cheap. Can't really fuck it up unless you're a moron.
We can always find people who can fuck these things up in our community, man. Come on.
What's the verb? Johnny it?
Johnny it. Or like, what was the guy from Kingpin? Munson? You got Munsoned. But we'll go with Johnny. You got Johnny'd. But I don't know, guys. The thing is, you don't have to break the bank to grow the dank. Don't.
And remember, there's 2
show title right there.
Sale dates every single year. 420 and 710. You know that there's going to be huge sales going on. So, like, right? I don't know. Plan, stack up some codes. Make sure you're not paying wholesale for stuff. There's always sales that go on.
Dude, that's such a
little bit of planning will save your ass.
That's probably the best tip we've mentioned all show. Is just wait to buy all your shit until 420 or Black Friday.
You know, there's set sale dates. So, like, maybe you need a new light this year. I guarantee you wait for one of those days, you're going to get your best deal of the year.
Yep. Yep. Or 710 now, right? That's our new holiday.
420, 710, Black Friday.
So you got, three times throughout the year, all this stuff should be heavily discounted.
Real quick, the 710 thing annoys the shit out of me.
Yeah, why?
Because it's fucking retarded. You gotta like, it's oil,
But it's
spelled
oil
backwards.
upside down, man.
Yeah,
It's
man. No. It's just stoners trying to grasp on.
Don't you see it, man? Don't you
It's
see it?
stoners trying to grasp on to have another day, which is cool, I guess.
I'll
But
take another day, man. Take all the days I can get.
I take every day. How's that?
I've been living that life for a long time, my friend. But this way, like, I can announce it to the world on these days and just like let my freak flag fly a little bit higher.
Like I get pulled over, fucking ripping my Dr. Dabber, but it's 710, officer.
Oh, is it?
National holiday.
You know what? Just go ahead, man.
Go right ahead, son. Just buckle up and have fun. Imagine that. Imagine a world where, like, because listen, like I'm saying, like cannabis is a performance-enhancing drug. Maybe cannabis doesn't affect my driving in a negative way whatsoever. I guarantee you, I drive better high than I do not high. Okay.
The thing I've noticed is I drive too slow sometimes. Like I'll be on the highway and I'm doing like 55. I'm like, dude, what the hell's wrong with you? Pick it up.
I know. You see a 18-wheeler whiz past you, you're like, God, oh shit. Speed it up a bit. But for real, like I think it follows the trend. Like I'm the kind of person, I'm more alert, I'm more in tune with whatever it is that I'm doing, and I'm less in my own head and letting like a mental barrier hinder my performance. What if that doesn't make sense? Then I don't know, but
no, it makes sense.
Same way as it is with driving, as it would be with like pitching, like I was saying in the beginning. But fucking weird, man. But all right, let's. You want to call it? Get wrapped up here.
Yeah, my allergies are killing me today.
Do we have any new Patreons? I'm gonna look real quick.
You look. I'm going to tell you guys about eclipse season super fast. So, this October we have 2 eclipses going on. On October 14th, there is a Anyway, it's a full solar eclipse, but it's where the sun and the moon are kind of far away from each other. So you get this ring of fire. It looks really cool, and it's going to go all the way from like Oregon all the way down through like the Four Corners into Texas. So if you're in that area, check it out. October 14th. It's going to be really awesome. I think it starts around, I want to say noon or 2 or something that has a 2 in it. But
I'm sorry, I wasn't completely listening. Did you say only visible in Texas?
No, that's where you're going to see like the full ring of fire. So that like full, it looks almost like a penny sitting on top of a nickel, So you can see the sun around it, and the moon only blocks part of the sun. And then there's also the end of the month. We have a full moon on October 28th. That's the Hunter's moon in Taurus. And we're going to have a partial lunar eclipse for that one. So this month, no stones, no water, nothing like that. When you get eclipses, it really throws a ton of chaos energy into that. And I personally believe that chaos energy and water causes harms, but that's just me. I would just stay away from the chaotic energy if you don't know how to control it. So, yeah, 2 eclipses this month. It's going to be a little crazy. Eclipses are all about, from the metaphysical standpoint, it's all about right path, wrong path. If you're on the right path and you're doing things in your best interest and going the way you're supposed to, you should feel some momentum during this month. Things should start moving slightly easily for you. If you're on the wrong path or making wrong choices, you're going to encounter a lot of obstacles and things that are kind of blocking your way, trying to redirect you onto the right path. So pay attention to what's going on around you. Pay attention to how easy or difficult your tasks or objectives may be, and maybe reassess if necessary.
Very well said.
Yeah, right. I love it. It's all about awareness. Again, awareness.
Be the best you can be.
For sure. No, we don't have any new Patreons, but that's all good. It's all good.
We love the ones we have.
We do, and we thank you all, even just for watching and listening. And the show will always be free, but we do, have bills to pay. So we thank everyone who does contribute. I do want to mention before we go too, we had a giveaway with the big green guy. He announced the winners.
Not just us. It was Big Green Guy and
Correct.
us and Crafting Cannabis and
All
Your
the
Average
podcasts.
Grow.
So like
all the Canniverse.
the
Canniverse.
what do we call ourselves? Like the cannabis broadcasting
Canniverse?
network.
The podcast.
Like the
I don't know, something like
pirate radio cannabis broadcasting or something.
Working title.
Yeah.
Think of it, guys. I don't know, but
I like the pirate radio. That's fun.
there's something to work in there for sure. But the winner, well, there were 3 winners. Okay.
I don't know if
3
we should
winners.
announce the other 2, especially since this is a live show. I think they want to announce it on their show.
Very true.
That's a good
Okay, we'll
point.
just announce ours. Well, they've already announced theirs. Each
But
announced
not
everybody.
via show, and that
True.
I think
Maybe some
that's
people
what
are just listening for their names to be announced.
All right.
But
Next
our
show
winner,
we'll re-announce everybody.
Yeah.
we want to congratulate Green Velvet Farms, who was the big winner of the Cultivation Conversation Bundaroo.
Go fuck yourself.
So nice job, congrats, man! You get a lot of beans, and I hope you enjoy them. So, thanks for playing, everybody.
Can't win if you don't play.
Can't. But yeah, we'll catch you all in a week. Thank you for listening. Thank you guys for joining me.
Pleasure as always, sir. Thank you. And
Oh yeah. We'll talk in a week, guys. Peace out. Until then, don't get caught. Oh no, where'd my mouse go? Oh no. Don't get caught.